All the bullseyes.
Thank you. Very festive.
Every year we end with some form of Jingle Bells because I think, as everybody knows, Jingle Bells was written right behind us at Simpson's Tavern, right in actually view of this window. So this time we will do Jingle Bells again, but a little bit of different arrangement than usual. It's a combination of Jingle Bells and Mozart. The same thing. So, I'll say that. 1, 2, 1, and.
We'd like to thank Mr. Zigney and the string ensemble for giving us joy tonight. We're so happy to have you here. You're fabulous, and you just light up our lives. So thank you very much. Thank you.
I too just wanted to say wonderful job. Thank you for bringing the holiday cheer, and I love that version of Jingle Bells. It was wonderful.
Ms. Vanderkloot.
Mr. Zigney and the students, we thank you so much for coming and gracing our halls again this evening, as you have for so many years past. It sort of sets the tone for us, and you know how much we appreciate it. I have to tell you that I and some of my colleagues were able to make some of the other performances this holiday season, and if I recall, that's not your first standing ovation for the orchestra. The orchestra concert was so great that people were blown away in the audience and everybody stood at the end, which doesn't often happen at a student performance like this, but it really was a testament to the work and dedication both of our students and to their fabulous teacher. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas, or Happy Holidays.
Thank you very much. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, parents, for bringing the students.
Meeting of the Medford School Committee will now come to order. The secretary will call the roll.
Present.
Present.
Present, 7 present, none absent. Please rise and salute our flag. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, Thank you. Approval of the minutes of December 9th, 2019. Mr. Russo. Hold on.
There I am, okay. On the report of committee on the rules, it said that, in the notes, it says that we do not think it necessary to reprint the handbooks every year. I think they actually are reprinted every year. It's just that they don't need to be reprinted mid-year, so if we could make that amendment.
Make that correction. Is there a motion for approval as amended?
Motion.
By Mr. Russo, seconded by Ms. Vanderklut. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Approval of bills, transfer of funds, and approval of payrolls. Motion for approval by Mr. Benedetto?
Second.
Okay.
No questions.
No question. Second by Mr. Russo. Roll call vote, please.
Member DiBenedetto.
Yes.
Member Krantz. Yes. Member Stone, yes. Member Giro. Yes. Member Russo.
Yes.
Member Vanderklut. Yes. Mayor Burke.
Yes, 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. Motion passes. Report of secretary? None. Reports of committee, Special Education Subcommittee. Ms. DiBenedetto.
Looking for my report. Thank you. It was right in front of me. So we had our first meeting of the year for the Special Education Subcommittee meeting. We had many administrators present: Diane Caldwell, Joan Bowen, Tony Ray, Paulette Vanderklut, my associates, Paul Rousseau, Jenny Graham, the school committee-elect member Jenny Graham, Neil Osborne, Emily Lazaro, Lisa Kingsley from the Curtis Tufts School, Melanie McLaughlin, who will also take office soon as a school committee member, Tanya and Alex Lurie, Tanya Sullivan. So we had this meeting to go over what we have accomplished last year, and we had set forth 2 goals last year, and we made tremendous amount of work. And the first goal for the community was raising disability awareness training and just helping our summer out-of-school time activities for our students with special needs, before school, after school, summer camp, vacation camps, and we did a lot of work, especially Diane Caldwell, on new handbooks, more parent-friendly, and to make it friendly for families that have students with needs to come forward, so we know ahead of time and can plan for those students' needs and be ready for them. And we also try to get parents to enroll earlier, so we have staffing and we're set up appropriately for all of our students in the summer programs. So look forward to that in the spring. Registration will be going out earlier this year. And together we wanted to raise awareness, and especially like in curriculum, and use examples of challenging situations that students could have more empathy and more inclusion of all students' needs in the classroom. And Shelley Gross ran some programming for our teachers, and it was a great hit, and more of that's going to continue. So those goals are going to continue, and we talked about what goals we'd set forth for the next year. And since I won't be chairing the committee, no decisions were made on those goals, and we felt like the new chairperson would bring those goals forward. But we did identify some areas. Looking at special education curriculum, what's being taught and how it's being taught was one idea. And, community hosting accessible recreation programs was another idea. Increasing the programming at the Curtis Tufts School was an idea, and focusing on students with disability in our upper grades, because sometimes we focus a lot on the lower grades in, teaching students to self-advocate at those grade levels, and maybe a unified sports program similar to the one that they have in Malden, and to get Medford more involved with the Challenger event that Malden is very involved in. I know that a lot of us went to Challenger Day, and I'd love to see a larger participation. And some of these aren't year-long goals, but they're quick hits that we can do. and whoever runs this committee, I think hopefully some of my colleagues that have been serving on it will continue, at least one. So there's some history brought forward, but it's been a great committee. Keeping the goals to 1 or 2, possibly 3, is very important in my mind because you can see effective change. You can really work on issues and dig in on them and make a difference in children's lives. If you have 20 goals, it's very hard to meet all of those things. So that's our committee. It's been a great honor to be the chairperson of that committee, and I'm glad that the mayor established that and that we are serving our students in that way. So thank you.
Ms. Van der Kloot.
Erin, I just would like to thank you for your work on that committee. And for the great job you did. I agree that limiting the goals was in fact an excellent plan and really gave focus to the committee. And rest assured, we certainly will be making sure that the work continues and will be focused and will continue along the lines, the trajectory that you started us on. Thank you, Erin.
Ms. Caldwell.
And on behalf of the Special Ed Committee, we'd like to present these flowers to Erin DeBenedetto.
Is there a motion to accept this report? Motion to accept. By Ms. Kretz. Is there a second on the floor by Mr. Russo? All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Community participation. Is there anyone wishing to speak under community participation? Hearing seeing none? Ms. Van der Kloot.
Mayor Burke, I would like to make a motion to suspend the order of business. I'd like to take superintendent's updates and comments at the end of our calendar, please.
Second for a motion for suspension by Mr. Russo. All those in favor? All those opposed? We have now moved to item 2 on the reports of the superintendent. Recognition of Medford State Delegation for contributions to the Student Opportunity Act. Madam Superintendent.
Good evening. This is a special opportunity for Medford to be able to recognize our state delegation members who are here this evening. And so I would like to ask Senator Patricia Jalen, Representative Christine Barber, Representative Sean Garberly, and Representative Paul Donato to please come forward. On behalf of the work that you did, especially for Medford, but in support and all the work that you did contributing to the successful adoption of the Student Opportunity Act, Medford Public Schools would like to officially recognize all of you. And in recognition of what you've done, we have a souvenir that we're going to present to you.
The first one is Representative Paul Donato, Champion of Education, Medford, thanks you, 2019.
Whoa, thank you. And so, Representative Donato, would you like to come forward? We thank you for ringing the bell of education for our students.
Members of the House are going to be very, very, very upset about this, because this is the way I'm going to call them to order.
Medford Public Schools recognizes Senator Patricia Jalen for her support and work on the successful adoption of the Student Opportunity Act, signed by the Medford School Committee. Ms. Senator Jalen.
Can I say something?
Of course.
Well, I want to say that this really took a lot of years. We should have been doing this 17 years ago, and we've been trying since the report in 2015. But what happened this year, we thank you for thanking us. But it happened because parents and students and teachers and administrators and school committee members all across the Commonwealth came together and didn't give us a lot of choice. So I want to thank particularly Mayor Burke, Superintendent Edward Vincent, and their staffs for briefing us about the particular problems Medford faced, and it helped us advocate for you all, not just now, but in the future as we understand your particular challenges. And so I just want to send the thanks back to you all.
Representative Christine Barber. Would like to say a few things?
Sure. I want to echo Senator Jalen's sentiments. This was truly teamwork that we did with all of you, and I want to thank the members of the Medford School Committee, the mayor, of course, the superintendent. You guys are not shy about letting us know about Medford's needs, and this law will help us to support especially children with special education needs, English language learners, low-income students, and so many across the whole Commonwealth. So thank you for your efforts, and this is really an honor, so appreciate it.
Representative Sean Garvely.
Baby.
So much.
Moving closer to the next one.
Thank you,
Turn
Sean.
around.
Thanks so much.
Say a few words?
Yes, I would. That's okay.
Oh, we're doing a picture.
I'm going to take a picture.
Front and personal here.
Okay. I just want to thank everyone who's here tonight. I want to thank my colleagues. It's been great to work with them to really pass this important bill that's a $1.5 billion investment in public schools across 351 cities and towns over the next 7 years. And so I also want to thank the superintendent, our incredible mayor, members of the school committee for being strong champions. A day did not go by when I did not get a text message or a phone call from one of the individuals here, and Jenny Graham, on supporting this bill and pushing to make sure it can be the strongest that it should be for Medford. So I want to thank the parents of Medford, the advocates, the mayor, members of the school committee for really holding us accountable for making sure that we pass the strongest bill that's going to support students in Medford and across the Commonwealth. So thank you so much.
I'd also like to acknowledge the work of our state delegation and those beyond. I mean, we had meetings with Senator Lewis of Winchester, who chaired the committee, and Kirstine Patterson, our associate superintendent, was getting us so much data so that we could argue our case and our points about the Medford system. And not only did this act pass, but they also had special monies put aside for this current year because Medford was really getting hit hard. So we advocated, they listened, and they fought for us. So I'm really thankful for all that you have done for the city of Medford. So thank you. Paulette wants to say a few words.
First of all, I'd like to thank the entirety of our legislative delegation. You've always been there for us. And one of the things is that so often we are just in sync with our thinking. And it's absolutely a pleasure. And I thought this is such a great time to recognize the work that you do, not only for the Student Opportunities Act, but every day. Of course, we're going to need your continued work and to advocate for us to make sure, there's those dirty words, subject to appropriation, and we want to make sure that, in fact, where the places are, we can maximize the benefit for Medford. So thank you very, very much. I was hoping that we could all do a picture with your bells in front here. So take them out again, and let's ring the bell for education.
Ring my bell.
I'd say right in front of the Muncie. I can text it too. Absolutely.
All right, you know how it goes, tall people in the back. Paul, you're right up front. All right, say money.
Those are legit.
What? The bell is Peter's. But,
You know.
I know, once I saw them. I know. Well, maybe we can do it post.
Yes.
Item 3.
Vote on Veterans Day.
Dr. Chiesa.
Dr. Chiesa?
Good evening, everybody. I wanted to update you on the commemoration of Veterans Day at the high school. We the Humanities Department and the Office of Veteran Services worked together to once again sponsor the Veterans Day Speaker Program. This program is actually in its 19th year now, and it provides a wonderful way for high school students, faculty, and veterans to discuss both combat and non-combat experiences. The program this year took place on November 6th and was co-coordinated by myself, as well as the Director of Veteran Services, Mr. Michael Durham. We had 22 veterans from several different eras, and they provided an overview of their experiences with the students. Some of the veteran sessions were also recorded by Jonathan House, who is the Military and Veterans Liaison for Congresswoman Catherine Clark. These sessions will be submitted to the Morse Library for the Veterans Oral History Project. In addition, we had the Veterans Preservation Project, founded and facilitated by Noah Kretz, a graduate of Medford Vocational Technical High School, there to display his war memorabilia. The collection really was wonderful for the veterans to see, and we were very proud to have them there as well. It was a wonderful day filled with very engaging conversations, and feedback was extremely positive from faculty and students as well. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Kretz.
Yes, I want to thank you, Dr. Kaiser, for your report, and I want to give a sincere thanks to you and Mike Durham and everybody that participated in the program. I did have an opportunity to go to one of the classrooms and listen in with one of the veterans that was talking to the students, and it's just really great that the students have so many great questions, and it's just wonderful to hear them, hearing about the real-life service, the military service. I also got to stop by and visit my son's display. My son Noah and his one of the other students, Ian Agadello, they had the display, and it was just wonderful, and it's just great to see, Medford students volunteering their time to help the veterans. What I found out from my son was there were 8 students, a combination of Medford High School and vocational students that volunteer on the Veterans Preservation Project, and they're gaining more students like all the time. And it's just incredible. It's a passion, and they enjoy educating and teaching everybody in preserving history. And I really, it's just one of my favorite exhibits to go to, and thank you, and thank to everybody who was involved in organizing it. I know it's a lot of work to get everybody there, and it's a great program. Thank you.
Thank you. I just also want to say, if I didn't make it clear, a huge thank you to the veterans too, who obviously a huge thank you to them, came and donated their time. Many of them work for the city. Many of them are graduates of Medford High School, and that connection is really invaluable as they speak with the students. And Mr. Kretz's Noah's memorabilia project was amazing. Every year there's something new and something that catches the eye, so it really adds a very, very nice touch to the day. So thank you. Thank you.
Ms. Vanderkloot.
Could we please send letters of thanks to Noah and the other students, as well as anybody else who took part?
The veterans that
the veterans,
We do.
on behalf from the school committee, please. Thank you.
You're welcome. And Madam Superintendent.
I too wanted to just echo what was said, that it was an excellent event, and that I had the opportunity to go up and listen to one of the veterans sharing his real-life experience story. And the classroom that he was in had some students that particular classroom had English learners. And so he made the modifications to and the teacher worked collaboratively with him to point out the key vocabulary terms. And I just think it's great that all students get to benefit from this real-life history alive, I would say, the Veterans Day event. And so I'm so grateful for their service and thankful for the collaboration with the Veterans Office here and Mr. Durham as well.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. Is there a motion to place this report on file? Mr. Russo? Seconded by Mr. Benedetto. All those in favor? All those opposed? Motion passes. Thank you very much,
Thank you very much.
Report on universal breakfast. Ms. Patterson.
Good evening. I just wanted to provide an update. As you recall, this body voted last June to pilot the Provision 2 breakfast, which is free breakfast for all in all of our buildings in Medford. And this report is the follow-up for the September, October, November counts for that program for the breakfast. So we did have, working with food service, we did have a very aggressive campaign to encourage participation in families to have their children eat free breakfast at the schools. We provided flyers for backpack messaging. We provided posters at the high school, which were of the home-cooked or scratch-cooked breakfasts that are offered here. And we also did clear channel billboard messaging to encourage participation and get that message out. So the food service staff members were also very excited to offer free breakfast and worked diligently and eventually built up the menus to incorporate hot options each day. So we have been able to provide that at each building level. The meal count analysis that was provided shows a true increase in the overall participation in all the buildings. We did have an exception at the Columbus School, and that was related to a particular pilot that Dr. Kay was doing for her 5th grade program, and that was to allow them to come in the building a little bit earlier, eat their breakfast if they chose, and to help the other students adjust. As you can see, those counts did affect that school, so we will have to revisit that with Dr. K and really determine what the best process is for maintaining those breakfast counts and getting those numbers back up. Additionally, the meals per labor hour comparison indicates that there was not significant impact on the wages adding this additional component for the breakfast program. Again, the breakfast has been served at each building, but we just didn't have the level of participation or the free breakfast option. So we didn't know how that was going to impact if we needed several more people there to serve and prepare the breakfast. As we did the analysis, it did not significantly impact that. So we also wanted to indicate that we are still in negotiations with the food service collective bargaining unit, so that will impact wages going forward. But we, working with the food service director and looking at really the positives of this program, we're hoping that the enthusiasm to continue to feed the students of Medford, that this school committee would approve a motion to continue this program throughout the school year, and as we near the closeout, identify any coverage that might be needed to maintain this program. But it is such a significant and important one, we would like to make that recommendation.
Very good. On the Mr. Benedetto.
Thank you. First of all, you know, I pushed strong and hard for this last year, and I really wanted breakfast before the bell, but I want to stop and appreciate all the work that you've done on this program. It's tremendous. To see the increase in high school students eating breakfast is huge. Yes. These numbers are wonderful. Yes. You have fed, we have, as a community, have fed many more children breakfast this year, and it's because of the work of many in our district. Right. And it's greatly appreciated. Excellent. 100%. I still see a big difference of schools that have breakfast after the bell than before the bell, so I'm going to ask you to look at that for next year. But I am wholeheartedly in agreement that we should continue this program, and any way we can feed children throughout our district, just keep bringing it in. Absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing, and thank you again. Thank you. Motion to approve.
Mr. Russo.
Thank you very much. I really want to thank you for all the hard work. I know this was not just a little send an email off and call it a day. This was a ton of work for you and for the food service staff and for the principals. I know that and the teachers. I mean, everybody really had to come together to make this work. And I'm looking forward to, you know, the year 3 or year 2, I should say, when we can look at all these numbers and see them go up even more. I was especially surprised, actually, by the Andrews. I mean, just, you know, wouldn't have been the school that I would have picked to expect to see such a massive increase, but that is very exciting. So I'm looking forward to next year, and thank you for all your very hard work.
And if I can add on the heels of that, we have served over 6,000 more breakfasts in a 3-month time frame from last year, so that's significant.
Nice job. Excellent.
Excellent.
There's a motion on the floor to accept the recommendation to continue with Provision 2 free breakfast program for the school year 2019-20 with the understanding that a year-end report may require a transfer to cover any deficit in the food service fund. Motion was made by Mr. Benedetto. Is there a second? By Mr. Russo. Sorry. Roll call vote, please.
Yes.
Member Kress? Yes. Member Stone? Yes. Member Sherrill? Yes. Member Stone?
Yes.
Member Vanderpool? Yes. And Mayor?
Yes, 7 in the
Great.
affirmative.
Thank you for your support.
0 in the negative. The motion passes. I also want to recognize that we have Isabella D'Souza with us. She's the Medford High School rep. Welcome. Okay, new business. Be it resolved that the Medford School Committee expresses sincere condolences to the family of retired Sergeant Cesar Delatorre. Sergeant Delatorre was the Medford police officer who directed the Medford Police Honor Guard unit at many city and veterans events. Also under suspension, be it resolved that the Medford School Committee expresses sincere condolences to the family of Lena DeGiantomaso, Mr. John Tommaso was a member of the Medford School Committee for many years and greatly contributed to the betterment of Medford Public Schools. She will be greatly missed. She also received the Lifetime Achievement Award by MASC, Mass Association of School Committees. If we could all rise for a moment. If Ms. Vanderklut would like to say a few words.
I just wanted to comment because I was a colleague of Lena's for such a long time, and Lena was a force to be reckoned with. My most wonderful memory was when Lena, in her high heels, because Lena was always dressed to the T, and I climbed to every roof. And this is when the Osgood was still standing, so we're talking many years ago. We climbed to the top of every roof and examined them ourselves. This was before the schools were built. This was way before that, as a matter of fact. And Lena was going to never let anything stop her. I thought Lena would have been so happy in her own right because, you know, it's a Monday and Lena is being waked tonight. I went to the wake earlier. And she used to love when the music played. And Lena we didn't always agree, but Lena was passionate about education. And so we send our heartfelt condolences to her family and memories of the many years that she decked these halls.
Very nice. All please rise for a moment of silence. Thank you. And lastly, the superintendent's updates and comments. Madam Superintendent, let me turn you on here. Okay, you should be good.
Good.
One sheet. A slow week in Medford.
So, good evening, Mustang community. Tonight I do depart from my traditional superintendent's remarks, and I have special remarks to make. Tonight is a special night that is both a happy and a sad occasion. The happy occasion is that it is the end of this school year and the beginning of our holiday season. So whether you celebrate Christmas, winter solstice, Hanukkah, or Kwanzaa, on behalf of my family, the Medford Public Schools family, we would like to wish you all a lovely and safe holiday season filled with family, friends, and neighbors. Additionally, on the other hand, it is also a sad occasion because today we have 3 members of our school committee that are transitioning and will no longer be with us for next year. And I would like to formally thank Mayor Stephanie Muccini-Burke, Chair of the School Committee, Erin DiBenedetto, and Michael Ruggiero, school committee members, who have all proudly served the Medford Public Schools.
Mayor Burke.
She has a box. Ms. Vanderklut.
So I have a few words to say, which is traditional. So it's always a bittersweet moment when we come to this place and we recognize the work of our fellow colleagues, but also know that change is happening. Michael, you and I stood out together this election day, all day, from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. And there was no way that I was going to let you leave 1 minute before me and vice versa. But we had a wonderful time talking and chatting with each other, and I thought, boy, what a benefit this was. And during that time, I really appreciated as I talked to you and heard what a passionate dad you are to your 2 wonderful sons and a husband to your lovely wife. You brought a breath of fresh air to us. It's not every day that we have a blueberry farmer amongst us, and that was something that I think was always interesting to your colleagues. We always want to know more. And to that end, tonight I'm bringing you Mr. Ashley's Blueberries, which happened to be on sale at the school committee conference. I kid you not, I couldn't believe it. It is a lovely, lovely book, and I am sure that you're going to enjoy reading it to your young sons. And Michael, I think this is hardly the last that we're going to see you to. Your time here has been relatively brief, but I think that I certainly was enriched by your presence, and I hope that you've enjoyed your stay here. And I suspect very, very much that we will hear more from you in the future, and that you will continue your outspoken passion for education. Specifically, Michael, as you talked about re-election, you mentioned your concern about the obesity epidemic for children, and that, of course, brings into it also the concerns about exercise and recess. And so as one of the members who is continuing on, I promise you that I will take up that mantle and continue it so that your work and thoughts in that direction will be continued. Michael, thank you so much for your tenure, for being here, and for being one of my colleagues. Erin. We're not done. So, Erin, I can't believe that 8 years have passed, because it seems like just yesterday that you joined our committee. And I'm having a hard time with that, processing that really you've been on the committee 8 years, and I'm probably having an even harder time believing that you're leaving. So I want to thank you, too, for your work. You know, it's not only your Erin, just you, but also we got to meet and become friends with your wonderful husband, Joe. We heard about Caitlin and Joey. We lived just through one wedding and know that there's another wedding upcoming, and house buying and whatever. And I remember them when they were so much younger, and you were, younger. Active parent, well, I'm older, so it's okay. Active parent, a band parent. I remember all your work for the prom dress, and mostly, I think that your work for the Curtis Tufts, keeping that school in vision, in mind, saying, how are we going to improve it? We need new shades, we need the floor. It was just, each meeting we wondered what else you would come up with, because you were intent of making sure that that work would be done, just as you were with the Special Education Subcommittee. Your tenacity, your thoughtfulness, we didn't always agree, but within that, we certainly had a level of respect with each other, and that's something that I really appreciate. So, Erin, I too believe, like Michael, that you will continue on and be very active in Medford. I'm not quite sure exactly how that's going to turn out, which direction you're going to go in, but I know that it will be one that you will work very hard at as you find your passion. And I also believe strongly that you are not over for education, and that we will see you here in these halls again. Erin, thank you for your dedication and your time and your commitment to the children of Medford. Kathy?
So wanted to thank you for your friendship and your leadership. What I learned working alongside both of you is your passion for high-quality education. It's been a pleasure working with both of you. You've been great friends, colleagues. I wish you both success and happiness in your future ventures. Mayor Burke, it's been a pleasure and privilege to have worked alongside you. I've seen your passion and dedication to the City of Medford and the Medford Public Schools shine through. As a mayor, there's been numerous achievements that you've fulfilled. I appreciate all the remarkable accomplishments that you've done for the Medford Public Schools and the city. Thank you for your leadership and your friendship. I wish you the best, great success, happiness in your future. I really do. And both everybody. And we'll see each other.
Ms. Vanderkloot.
Okay. I now want to turn to Mayor Burke, who has been a fantastic mayor for the city of Medford. But more importantly for us, for this contingent, for these people sitting here, you have been a fantastic chair of the Medford School Committee, and we thank you so very much. It's not been the easiest of 4 years, but your accomplishments have been great, and you have ruled with steadfast, eye on the prize, passion in the direction of what's best for the children. The time, and I know that you've said it, but more was seeing you with the kids. I know how much you loved going to the schools and seeing and being with them. And believe me, you'll always be welcome in our halls because, you know, you have a natural ability with the kids. And it was just wonderful to see that piece of you, which I hadn't known before. But your accomplishments, of course, are bigger, although we have to recognize that one of the key things of your administration is that we made made a transfer from a very long-standing superintendent, Mr. Belson, and made a commitment to a search, to be open, to be inclusive, and we, under your direction, we were able to identify and bring in Dr. Maurice Edouard Vincent. And I certainly think that you should keep that as high on your accomplishment list. Not to mention, by the way, I drove by the police building going up, and I saw the lights shining. And of course, I also have the luxury of driving past the library renovation, which will also have your fingerprints on it. It's hard to say goodbye, but again, we hope that you'll play a very active role in Medford in the future. We appreciate so much that, I mean, I can't say it enough, but that sense of professionalism, of keeping what is important for the Medford Public Schools. How do we proceed? How do we move on and through and make the best for our students? Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your friendship. Thank you for being you.
Thank you, Paulette.
So the Medford Public Schools recognizes Mayor Stephanie Muccini Burke for her contributions, service, and dedication to Medford Public Schools as the chair of the Medford School Committee from 2016 through 2019. So we thank you, and we present you with a glass apple that says Mayor Stephanie Muccini Burke, Medford School Committee Chair, 2016 to 2019.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. It's been 4 long years, 4 great years, and I have been exposed to a lot of things during the course of my city council years and working for Mayor McGlynn as well, but never so much with the schools to the level of, obviously, that this has been. And it's just been an honor. It's been a privilege, and to get to know all the people, and I'm going to cry, all the people in the school department. You're just fabulous. The kids, I absolutely adore every one of them, and they've really filled my heart, and I'm forever grateful for this opportunity, and I thank you all. Thank you.
Mayor Burke, I believe we have some other people in the House who also wanted to recognize the mayor. Yep.
Did you want me to do the...
Whichever way, if you want to do those. So.
Yes.
I just don't want to forget at the last minute.
Okay, I would like to say Medford Public Schools recognizes Ms. Erin DiBenedetto for her contributions, service, and dedication to Medford Public Schools as a Medford School Committee member from 2012 through 2019. And we present you with your crystal apple as well. Medford School, Erin DiBenedetto. Please come forward, Erin, 2012 to 2019.
I know. You need that ramp over there.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you to my family for giving up time with me, to give me time to serve this community. Service is a big part of our family life, and I'm blessed to have served Medford. Thank you.
Last but definitely not least, Medford Public Schools recognizes Mr. Michael Ruggiero for his contribution, service, and dedication to the Medford Public Schools as a Medford School Committee member from 2017 through 2019. Thank you.
It's still small fruit, so it still counts. Thank you so much for the great honor to serve the city of Medford. I have to thank both my kids and my wife, who often sometimes, they have to sacrifice a little bit of their daddy so I can give up time. And it's been a great honor. Thank you so much, Mayor Burke and Madam Superintendent. Thank you.
Yeah, and the picture.
Yes.
Yeah, I can't. And Joe's taking one. Peter, did you know that the job description included photography?
I was vice president of the photo club in high school.
I knew.
Okay. Yeah. And if we could ask? Yeah. You guys should come up.
Well, we see what beautiful gifts Medford gives on various anniversaries. I don't know what it is, but we brought paper. So I think maybe the city is doing better than the state right now. I don't know, but we did bring. We brought paper for you all in case you need wallpaper. We had a resolution from the Senate, which lists many, many things about Mayor Burke. I'm going to just mention, it particularly mentions the groundbreaking for the new police station and the new library. But I would say that one of your greatest gifts to Medford was being part of selecting a new superintendent and a new chief of police. That legacy, more than physical monuments, will live on and continue to enrich Medford. So
Thank you, Senator.
And while I'm at it, we have, for Aaron DiBenedetto, we have also a citation from the Senate. And we particularly want to say one of my proudest parts of the new education law is that the special ed PAC is going to give recommendations to the plans that are going to be implemented. And you never know, you're not a parent of a special needs person right now, but I bet they'd be glad to see you again.
Thank you.
And finally, we have a similar citation for Michael Ruggiero. And we, as people have said about all three of you, we don't expect you to go quietly into the night.
Just mention all of them.
Okay. We're gonna do this in order. I want to thank Mayor Burke for so many things that you've done in the past 4 years. I think one of the things that sticks with me the most, and it's also a testament to the school committee, is I was at one of the Medford Conversations projects this year, and I was at the table with most of the high school students, and they were talking about how the place that they feel most welcome, how welcome they feel in the city, but the place they felt most welcome was in school. And that really struck me for what a good job the city is doing in helping students really feel welcome and feel like they're part of the city. So thank you to all that you've done. Thank you to Aaron and to Michael for your service. It's really incredible. And we have citations for you as well, but I will let Leader Donato give those.
Thank you. As a state delegation, we are so lucky to have such incredible partners in municipal government. And I really mean that for those who are sitting out there and who are coming in to serve, and those who are here. It really is great to have incredible partners. As a former school committee member, I just want to say I know the amount of dedication it takes to serve on a school committee, especially when the income is very small and the commitment is massive. And so those who are retiring from our school committee, I just want to thank you so much for the work that you have done to improve the quality of life for students in the Medford public schools, and particularly the members who are leaving, what sticks out to me most is that you've always prioritized all students, but also the most vulnerable students. And to me, that is so important and the legacy that will live on. So thank you both very much. As soon as Mayor Burke was sworn into office 4 years ago, she called me right away. And I know she called the other members of the delegation, and she made it very clear how she wanted to work with each member of the delegation as well as members of city government to transform the city of Medford. And a couple of things that stick out to me under her leadership is the kind of professionalism she brought in running city government that has led to so many successes, even during difficult times. And I would also say it's not easy serving in any political office, but serving as mayor is also not easy. And you led the city with such success and so much grace that I think, even though it was only 4 years, it felt like a lot longer. And I think the benefit that you have brought to the people of Medford and to the students of Medford will be felt for decades. So thank you, and thank you to our members of the school.
As the leader of the delegation, it makes it a little more difficult because they have said many of the things that I would like to say about the members of the school committee and the mayor. We as a delegation, I can tell you, Madam Mayor and members of the school committee, we as a delegation have always dedicated ourselves to education. And I think it's mirrored on not only what we have done with the educational program that we've presented through our legislation. The breakfast before the bell is another milestone that we have, and it's going to continue. I can assure you that the Speaker of the House and the Senate President have as a priority education, and we will continue to make it so that education is a priority in the legislature. On a personal note, I met Michael many years ago, and we became friends and became understanding as Democrats, and we both had a passion for food. And basically, Michael is a farmer for blueberries, and gave me the blueberries, and I made a wonderful blueberry pie. Am I right? Yeah. So Michael has dedicated himself to the people of the city of Medford, and we wish him well and hope that he finds an opportunity to continue his service to the people of Medford. Erin and I have a personal relationship on the basis of my cousin lived down the street, and Erin was his caretaker and dedicated every day to make sure that he was safe, that he had food, that he was well taken care of, and no matter what time of night, even if it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and he called her, she would call me. And, only once in a while. But Erin, you have made your mark in the city of Medford as one who has dedicated herself to education and special needs. And I know, as has been said, you are going to continue working for people of Medford in that capacity, whatever it may be, because that's your passion and that's your vocation, so to speak. Madam Mayor, 1996.
It was a very good year.
It was. I had the honor and the pleasure of serving. We both won election in 1995 and were sworn in together in 1996. And we had that great opportunity to work with each other for those number of years. as a city councilor and as a council president, we were able to accomplish many, many, many things for the people in the community. On a personal note, the mayor and I became very good friends, and I can tell you that the mayor dedicated herself during the course when she was in charge of the budget. She and the former mayor would come and would advocate for the funds that were necessary to keep the city moving forward. She is a dedicated public servant whose first and foremost thought was for the people of the city of Medford. She worked hard, she worked diligent, she worked day and night to see that the city's finances were in the best shape that this city has ever seen. The legacy has been pointed out. The legacy is going to be what she has done for a new police station and a new library, but also a new police chief and a new superintendent. Those are the legacies, Madam Mayor, that you will sit down someday as people will then approach you in your private life for a short period of time. In your private life, they will look at you and say, Madam Mayor, you made a mark in this community. You can be proud of what you have done, proud of what you have accomplished, and proud of the people who surrounded you to make this Medford great. God bless you. These citations are more money than the Senate ones because these are cardboard.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Let me get Mr. Russo.
Thank you, Mayor
Mr.
Burke.
Russo, sorry.
Thank you. I'd like to thank you for your leadership as our mayor and chair of this school committee. You've shown incredible poise, and I have learned so much from you in my first term, my first 2 years in office. When I began my run for school committee, you announced me at my kickoff event, which touched me deeply because we weren't really friends yet. Your excitement at my first election is something I will cherish. Your ability to chair this meeting when there are 7 strong-minded people who would probably take this committee in 1,000 directions at every moment is really impressive. And you keep us focused on what's best for our community, our students, our teachers, staff, and everybody else who's involved. That focus is a reminder that we're not here for our own agendas, we're here for the people of Medford, and you set an amazing example. And that example will live on for a very long time, and I appreciate that. I'd like to thank you for your years of service, but mostly for your friendship.
Thank you very much, Paul. Thank you. Ms. Mastone.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
This is hard. We were at home and I was saying to my kids, what will I say? Because we weren't thinking we would be saying something. So Tegan told me, well, you met her through the whole food security interest with the Greater Boston Food Bank. And that was the first time we actually had a conversation after the first election 4 years ago. And we met with Carol Tynkin from Greater Boston Food Bank and talked about making Medford the first food secure city in the Commonwealth. And that is still a goal that we're working at, but it's with your help over the last few years that we have now a food pantry at the high school, the Summer Eats program with the YMCA. We've done pop-up mobile food markets. We have Columbus Groceries, and soon there'll be a community food pantry. That'll be very exciting that you were behind making that community food pantry happen. And I guess what Paul was saying, that you always had the children, and even Rep. Donato, you always had the residents. You always thought of them first, and how can you make their life on a daily basis better? And I appreciate that. And the benefit was that because of food security, we got to be good friends, and I look forward to having more guidance and great conversations with you.
Thank you very much,
Thank you, Mayor.
So Mayor and I have gotten to go in the van. You know that van, everybody knows her van. We've trekked into the Greater Boston Food Bank, we've loaded truckloads of stuff into her van to bring back to Medford. And really, food security is at the utmost. It's very important to myself and especially to you. You've been a spirit in that area. So I want to thank you. Thank everybody. It's been a joy to work with you all. You've been fabulous people. We've always put everything to the side to just move forward and to do what's best for the children, which is all that matters at the end of any day. So you guys are amazing, and keep on keeping on.
Thank you.
It's been an honor. Thank you. Okay, so we still have, I believe we still have a little executive session to go into for negotiation and legal matters. Is there a motion on the floor to enter executive session by Ms. Vandekloot, seconded by Mr. Benedetto? Roll call vote, please.
Member Di Benedetto. Yes. Member Kretz. Member Stone, yes. Member Ruggiero. Yes. Member Rousseau. Member Vandekloot. Yes. Mayor Burke.
Yes, 7 in the affirmative, 0 in the negative. We will enter executive session, and we will open up our meeting in room 207 and leave from there. Thank you very much. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yep.
Winter solstice. Happy Hanukkah. Enjoy your holiday season. Stay safe.